Hello. So, okay. So, I'm all excited about We Day because you see all the kids dancing, the We dancing, all the famous people lending their support to We Day. And so I looked into what We Day is, right? And it's a social enterprise. And so teenagers who aren't into We Day and stuff, they're like, it's a cult or it's communism or it's some weird shenanigans, right? It's like no, no, but it's extremely hard to wrap your head around because it's pretty new, um, but it's basically okay. So it's no bigger than government. Okay, it's not bigger than government. It's not a country. It's not bigger than government. It's about the size of a corporation. Let's say We Day is pretty big. I would say it's the size of maybe a large corporation, maybe, right? Or maybe a medium corporation. But whereas a corporation, can you see my face? Whereas a corporation makes a profit, right? And then it might buy more assets, it might pay dividends to private shareholders, right? A social enterprise is a corporation. And so it does, like, the people who work for it do get a salary and all that stuff, just like a charity. You work for a charity, you do get a salary. You don't work for free. You don't live on food stamps, right? But so get back to what I was saying. A corporation, when it gets richer, it might buy a better office. It might build a nicer building for itself, right? The executives might have private jets, right? A social enterprise, when it gets richer, the communities it help ought to get help like ought to get healthier. So it's a corporation, but if it becomes successful, a corporation that becomes successful, everybody wears nicer suits, right? The offices are like really advanced, like Google, right? Google is a corporation, right? It's not a social enterprise, right? So I can say if Google gets richer, the offices look better and all that stuff, right? Right. A social enterprise, a corporation, let's say, case in point, let's say it chooses to help like native kids, right? Um, finish school or have like food and stuff, like native communities that are suffering from poverty, right? If a social enterprise does well, it doesn't have like nicer offices, like those native communities have better like homes. The streets look nicer. Um, you're starting to see what I mean. So a social enterprise would take on a partner, right? Let's say you're like you're a poor community, right? Social enterprise would go in, and these people are sort of like they work for the corporation. They You might have the same type of expertise in a corporation. You would have IT people, you might have engineers, you might have um, people like me, digital marketing, right? But when the corporation gets richer, everybody collects their salary, right? But when the corporation gets richer, you see it on like the streets, like these these underserved communities. They could go Africa, and the village might, everybody, it might get universal education. The schools might look better, all that stuff. That's a social corporation. So when it, its success is based on like the streets. Yeah, the streets in like Africa or Latin America or Asia looking nicer and stuff. In like villages and stuff like that. So there's some confusion because nowadays with social media, everything is sort of like social. So one famous case is Salesforce. Salesforce is big software, right? Used by salespeople, and they wanted to call themselves a social enterprise because it's like a contact software that all the salespeople use. So it's all about like relationships, right? Kind of like Facebook calling itself a social enterprise because it's a social network, right? But apparently you can't call yourself a social enterprise. It's a very technical term. So in the early days, Salesforce got sued, for trying to call itself a sales enterprise, because like the people who use its software are salespeople. It's all about people, right? So that was a little slip up there, but it's kind of like Facebook calling itself a social enterprise. It would get sued as well, a social because even though it's social network, the product is social network. When it makes money, it keeps the profit for the corporation. It might pay out dividends and stuff, right? A social enterprise, its mission, its corporate mission is to like make a village healthier. So if it's successful, the village might have like a new clinic or something like that. You know what I mean? Or more kids in underserved areas go to school and stuff like that. So that's actually a social corporation. Basically, a corporation with a social so like community mandate. Yeah, social services. They call it social enterprise. You might call it a social services corporation. So Salesforce is definitely not a social services corporation. So they would go in there. If there's no school, or set up schools, all that stuff. How is it different from a charity? A lot of charities are actually social enterprises, but a social enterprise can also be for profit. And also, a charity does fundraising, and then it distributes money to the experts, like the engineerings and all that stuff. It distributes money. Yeah, it's totally new thing. It's totally new thing. I mean, I just just grasped the big picture of it. So it's a corporation. It could be for profit, but its success, right, is not like a better search engine or better commercial product. Success is better social services. So that's WeDay. A lot of it is volunteering. Also, the philosophy of WeDay is group work brings out the best in people. That's so like the philosophy of that organization is that group work brings out the best in people, and it measures its success when it helps the community and the social services get better, education, health, and all that stuff. But a social enterprise can be for profit, can be charitable, can be nonprofit, and also it's sort of like all sorts of stuff, all sorts of little differences, all these differences. So Salesforce is not a social services enterprise. It's a sales software, man. So that's WeDay. It's not a cult. It's not communism. It's sort of like a new corporate thing, arrangement, Yeah. So that's WeDay. All right. So, but the good thing about WeDay is that it's working together brings out the best in people. All right. So that's my introduction to WeDay. I wasn't so sure on. I wasn't so clear on what We Day was either. I thought it was just like like a big um phys ed class or something. But so I want I want to look into it because I think it's a corporation and its product is like a better community. You understand? It's a corporation and its commercial product is a better community. So you got a private for-profit corporation. Its product could be a better whatever search engine, right? Better computer, better software. We Day is a social enterprise, a social company. Its product is a better community, right? But it doesn't just roll into your community. It has to find like partners to work with it. You won't wake up one day and there's like trucks of We people coming into your community all of a sudden. So it's not called. It's not called. Crazy.